All right, once again, let's just show our appreciation for all of our co-chairs. This is just the beginning. I think we're off to a great start, but I just want to do a little bit of recall. Remember what we started out with, who we started out thinking about, and, Antonio. One thing I always do whenever I do professional development with teachers is I ask them to think about their typical student and to draw a mental picture of that student and always hang that picture in their mind when they create lesson plans. It helps them to stay focused on what the objective is. The objective is not just to teach a certain concept, it's to make sure that it connects with that particular student. And so I'm kind of going to ask us to do two things. One is I want to know what it is you're thinking. We've done a lot of talking to you. Somebody's eyebrows raised like, oh, what are we thinking? We've done a lot of talking to you, but I like to debrief and like to know what are you thinking, but we're going to do this in an activity that I like to do. It's called a shape up, and it's really just something very simple. 3 shapes that I want you to write on your paper, on the back of the agenda, wherever, vertically. The first shape is a square. The first shape is a square. I'll tell you what that means in a moment. Under it, vertically, the next shape is a circle. So far, square, circle, and then the final shape at the very bottom is a triangle. Now, let me tell you what I want you to write next to each of those shapes, beginning with the square. Out of all the things you have heard today, what things do you think maybe you didn't know beforehand, but now you feel pretty squared away on? You feel like you properly understand. If somebody asked you about that thing, you could explain it to them. You have reached a point that you now have that situation pretty fairly understood. What did you learn today that you have squared away? The second shape is the circle. What do you think after you leave here will continue to be circling around in your mind? Something that you think you will continue to meditate and muse on long after you leave here today. Maybe it's a bit of information, it's nuanced, maybe it's something you heard from the committee presentations. What is it you think will remain circling in your mind after you leave here? And then the final thing is the triangle, but really in math, that would be a delta, right, which represents change. What is it that you most desperately want to change based upon what you've heard here today? So that's what do you have squared away? What's going to be circling through your mind, and what would you like to most change? And so I'm going to give us maybe 5 minutes to write that down, and then we'll kind of share out a little bit. And then the second thing that we'll do is a call to action. So hopefully you all had time to record your thoughts. We will be taking this. The thing is, we didn't want you to leave here and just be the recipients of information. That's not what the study group is about. We talked long and hard about where former study groups or former attempts at this have gone awry, and it's always the difficulty of taking these ideas and putting them in motion. But we're really in a situation where we have to respond. This is our moment as a state, and we have declared that if we do this right, in the same way that Ann McCall was recounting and telling the story about the pioneers of public education, maybe, just maybe, somebody be talking about us. The moment that people came together and they decided to get it right in North Carolina, to address and exercise some of our historical demons, to really take a holistic look at schools, and to ensure that every child has the same opportunity. See, when we talk about equality, that's something different than equity. Equity is truly the definition of equal opportunity at success. But this is our moment. And so as you participate, we're asking for you to take action, to assist us in taking action, to give us your energy, to give us your ideas, to give us your commitment to working in these committees, because literally the future and the lifeblood of our state depends on it, on you. The cavalry's not coming, okay? I know it's a disappointment. The calls have gone out, but we are, quite honestly, the ones that we've been waiting for, okay? And so we need to be the change, as Gandhi said, that we want to see. So that's what this moment is. Please take hold of it, and I thank you for your participation. We're going to take these ideas, compile them, but continue to let them churn, circle around as we go throughout. And I'm going to pass it to Joe as we get ready to convene, take our survey.
So what happens next? I'm really amped up. I want to go. I'm ready for we've gotten a lot of good information, but I really want to be part of this process. I'm excited. I want to know what happens next. I also know that a lot of you have filled out our previous survey, or a lot of you have sent us emails or given me a call and we've talked. So we have a lot of pieces of information and interest in specific committees floating out there. And what we've done is, as soon as the 3 committees chairs were done talking, an email went out to all of you, as well as all of the many people who want to be part of the study group but couldn't make today's meeting. It came from Lauren Bach, L-Bach, at ncforum.org, and contained a link to this SurveyMonkey survey. Now, if you filled out a previous survey, we are asking you to fill this one out, even though it looks similar. What we've asked you for is 3 pieces of information. First, we'd like to know how you want your name and affiliation to appear down the line in March or April when this final report comes out. So if you're affiliated with multiple organizations, let us know how you want to be acknowledged after your contributions have gone through the course of the study group. Secondly, we want to give you an opportunity to change your mind. If you offered to be part of the Low Performing Schools Committee and then you heard a presentation today that makes you lean in the direction of one of the other 2 committees, maybe you came in, you wanted to do all 3, and we would love to have you do that. But if you decided to focus your energies on just 1 or 2, we want to know that. So they're just radio dials that you can punch in either 1 or 2 or 3 of these committees that you want to be a part of. And then finally, as I mentioned, there are a lot of people who want to be a part of this effort who are not here today. Some folks from far out west who didn't make the drive, and I want to acknowledge that a lot of you did, from Asheville and Charlotte and other places west and east, made the drive to be here today, but many did not, but still want to be a part of the study group going forward. So we're going to collect all of those folks, but we're going to have about 150 people involved in this effort. And so coordinating future meetings of the study groups will be a challenge. So to take the first step towards that, we have just designated days of the week and times, morning, afternoon, and evening, for you to give us 5 to 10 options that are the best fits in general with your schedule. And that will let us tailor our doodle polls for the specific study group committees, so we're not giving you 100 different options on the doodle poll that comes out, so that we can tailor them to the needs of all, the scheduling needs of all of you in the room. Also, I'll acknowledge that this meeting today, 11 to 2:30, squeezes out a very important group of folks. There are a few teachers in the room, but many of the folks who are in schools and wanted to be involved in this effort could not be here. So we will be trying to do at least some of our meetings in the evenings to bring in educators more fully into the discussion. With that, I would like to ask you, please, in the next 24 hours to fill out this doodle poll, or this survey, so that we can get polls out and get this moving very quickly, get the meetings on the calendar for early to mid-November for each of these committees. We'll also send out the slides today, so if you'd like to refer back to that graphic I showed you this morning that shows you visually how we're going to proceed over the course of the next 5 months, you'll have that. There are some of the faces that you see in this room that you won't see for several months. We're going to go off and do our individual committee work, and we'll come back together around the report in April. So I want to, on behalf of the entire forum family, our board, our membership, and our staff, thank you all for being here. Thank you for your time and your energy, and thank you in advance for contributing to this very important work at this very important historical moment. Have a good day.